Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
Wondery's new podcast, This Job is History, is hosted by Chris Parnell from Saturday Night Live and Rick and Morty. Steeped in factual history, this brilliantly funny podcast delves into quirky and absurd jobs from the past. Clock in and listen to This Job is History on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap we love to talk about on ye old bravs. I'm Ronnie. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm with the gorgeous and talented Ben, as usual. Come on, Ben. Get on the camera.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great, thanks. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Ben. Everybody, we're so excited because we're about to travel for 2 weeks for Watch What Crappens Live, the live version of Watch What Crappens, just how it sounds. This Thursday, we are actually going to be in Denver, Colorado, and we're going to be recapping Vanderpump Rules. And then Friday, hold on, I'm getting the dates up because, I will screw up every damn thing. It's the 23rd and 24th. Yeah, so then Friday, we'll be in Salt Lake City at the Depot, and we will be recapping the first episode of Real Girls Trip. Wait, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. It's the third season. I still can't say it.
I know.
Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Thailand Season 3.
Yes.
That's going to be amazing. It's super fun to have that show back. So come join us for that. Then the following week, we're going to be on the 30th and 31st, Seattle and San Francisco. We are going to be doing Pump at one of those. Not sure at the other one. So we're not sure what we're doing. We'll announce it next week. So just come check out our Instagram. You'll know. Today is Crappens on Demand. So we're both on camera talking to you. Okay. Hi. Hello. You can watch the videos by coming over to patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens, signing up the Crappens on Demand level. Okay.
I have two small things to add to this. One is that when we're in Denver, we are scheduled to be guests on Daily Blast Live, which is a TV show. And it's nationally syndicated. So if it's something that you receive on your television box, be sure to watch us on Thursday. And second of all, notably, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3 has not one, but two Salt Lake City women on there. And we're going to Salt Lake City. So I feel like that's going to make our Salt Lake City show extra special. And you never know what's going to happen in Salt Lake City when we're there. So I'm just going to say people should come to our show because I think it's going to be a good one.
Guys, I'll give you a hint about the guest. His name, it rhymes. His name is something like Brigham, opposite of old. Opposite of old, guys.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. His name rhymes with Carrie's grandfather. /husband. Just kidding. Not him.
Sligum Jung, like the author, Carl's brother. Yeah, for sure. Come. That should be fun. We probably won't have any guests, but we will be the guests. Okay. We're the special guests of Salt Lake City. We've never been to Salt Lake City. We don't know anything about that place except that everyone eats Italian food at all times. What are the other
Villa
things
Toscana.
that get there? Yeah.
Villa Toscana, biggest restaurant in Salt Lake City.
And every party takes place on the same roof with a swimming pool. So we know that.
That's where our after party should be at. We should have to find that swimming pool, and that's where our after party will be. And someone can make us a cake in the shape of Whitney's boobs, and we'll just stuff our face into it like Seth.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun week. So come check that out. Take a tour at watchwhatcrappens.com. Okay, let's get into this. This is Real Housewives of Miami. Reunion part 2 of season 5. Wow, Larsa, once you think someone can't grow anymore in their stupidity, they just shock you, don't they? I mean, human beings really have just such beautiful qualities in being able to grow at any age. You can keep growing, even if it's just stupidity you're growing,
Stupidity can always grow.
Yeah.
I think among the many adjustments she's had to her body, she's also had a stupidity adjustment. Like she's like, I just want a larger, I want
Rev
like
it
a
up.
size D. I
Rev
want a
it up.
size D stupidity, you know?
I want a turbo engine put on my fucking stupidity. Okay.
Yeah, I want to be in a triple D cup stupidity, you know?
Yeah, she got it.
She got it. So we're back with Andy, and he's like, "Hey, so Lisa, I mean, do you feel like you were attacked all season, or
This is
Alexia?
Yeah,
Alexia,
this is
were you attacked all season?"
because we are picking up, and the Alexia is both the biggest star and the biggest victim, and she's accused everybody of bringing up her pain to use for camera time, except she forgets that she brings up her pain literally every 5 minutes. I mean, I think even in this reunion, it's only been one part so far, and she's already been like, oh, really? Like, I have to deal with in my life? Like, all of the things I have to deal with in my life? Oh, really? 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 Oh, well, you know. So we're in the middle of that. So he's like, so you feel attacked all season? And Nicole goes, maybe it's because you're delusional.
And Alexia's like, oh, well, you know, I believe it, and I encourage all of you to believe it, you know, because Lisa's saying like, yeah, well, you kept saying like you're a star. Oh, well, you know, I believe it. I believe I'm a star, you know, and if you believe that, Lisa, then you would not have let Lenny do all the things that he's done to you. Oh, well, that's it.
And the whole group is like, boo!
Yeah.
It's like real-time audience feedback. Everyone boos that because that was low, right? And Andy's like, And Nicole's like, that's not nice. And she just shrugs. And Nicole's like, there's Alexia. Good job, Alexia. Good job. And she's
There
applauding
she is.
her. Yeah, there she is. There's the girl. And Lisa's like, that was wrong. You shouldn't just say that. She goes, no, Lisa, because you know what? This is not about me. And you don't stick up for anybody. This is not about me. And Lisa's like, listen, you took it out of context, okay? And that's not how I said it. I wasn't sticking up for people against you. I just feel like sometimes you don't let other people finish their
Oh, yes, I
sentences.
do. Yes, I do. I let them finish their sentence all the time. All the time. That was a good sentence, you know? It was
You
good.
just talk over. This is how I am.
I don't talk
this
over.
is how I am. And this is how I'm able to overcome all of the things in my life. Listen to all of the things. All you have to do is watch a show to see all of the things I come over in my life. Okay?
You can't
Okay.
come over things without talking over things. That's how it works. Yeah, Alexia is pulling, she's just doing some very classic reality star stuff, like from the real world. Like, that's just the way I am. Like, that's just how I am. I talk over, I don't let you finish your sentence. That's just who I am.
That's
It's
just
like
who
if
I am.
you critique her, you're actually like taking away a quintessential part of like her being.
Yes, you're like trying to drown her nature. You're like, don't be yourself. All those posters you see that say, just be yourself, they're wrong. Don't be yourself. Nobody wants. But if yourself is a murderer or like yourself is a cheater or a liar, don't be yourself. I don't want you to be yourself. I feel like we all have a duty not to be ourselves. If I was just myself, I'd be on the side of a freeway cursing people out all day and robbing Whataburgers. Okay?
Yeah.
It's my duty to not be my inner self.
And also, you know, I have to congratulate Alexia because she's showing there's like a lot more commonality between generations, you know, because, you know, the younger generations get a lot of flack these days for things like, this is just who I am. This is what I need. Like, these are my boundaries. And people are like, oh, grow up, snowflakes. But just goes to show, it doesn't matter what age you are. You can still pull that's just who I am. That's who I am, you know?
Yeah,
so
everybody can pull it.
congratulations.
Yeah. So, and you can be a baby at any age. I'm proof.
That's right.
Okay. So, she's like, well, I overcome everything in my life because I believe in myself. And Andy goes, well, that's my tool. And she goes, yeah, that's me. That's me, Andy. So he's like, all right, so to wrap this up, is there anything you feel the need to apologize for ever in history, Alexia? She goes, oh, I need to apologize to Julia because it wasn't to her as a person. Like, I didn't want to hurt you as a person. I was just saying Russian ladies are whores. Like, I know you're a Russian lady, but I just meant like all of the Russian ladies are whores, not you necessarily. Okay?
Yes.
So I hope you got that.
I didn't want to hurt you because, you know, as a Russian lady, you have so much to deal with as it is being prostitutes, you know? So, like, I didn't want to add more to the prostitution plate by making fun of your plate of prostitution.
Yeah.
That's all.
You have enough to swallow in life. You know what I mean? So, and to Gertie too, because I feel like that was a miscommunication, you know, bro? Like, you were saying, like, you couldn't do my wedding. And I was saying, fuck you, you can't do my wedding? What, do you think you're too good for me? And, so that's how that happened. So sorry you think you're too good to do my wedding. So I was like, wow, you really suck at apologies.
She's so bad at it. So now it's time to take a break. We see every single break on this reunion. I mean, it's literally like a boxing match where then everyone goes to their corners and we see the coach like rubbing the shoulders. And Marisol is Alexia's coach. She's like, well, I'm with you, bro. I think it's over with. You did a good job. You did a good job. And Alexia's like, well, it's this is a constant thing that's happening all the time. It's almost as constant as the amount of prostitution in Russia with the women,
They all gang up on me. It's crazy. And we've been here the longest. We've been doing this like the longest. Like, I'm Rocky, and like now this is Creed. Okay? We're like in Creed time.
I'm like Sylvester Stallone. Okay, I've been here since the 70s.
Yeah.
So then Nicole in her corner is like, well, she apologized to Julia because like she had to, but like she made a statement about an entire population of women, and if she didn't apologize on national television, like they would cancel her, and she just gave you like a half-assed apology, but like, dude. You still did not scroll down. Like she did not scroll down, and
she didn't scroll down on her apology. So funny. And then we see the clip of Alexia going, oh, by the way, he didn't have an affair at all because look, you have to scroll. You have to move it all the way down. I didn't do that.
And then refusing to apologize when Adriana's like, well, apologize for the slander. And she's like, no, that's one thing I won't do, bro.
They show that clip every week and I crack up every single time. So Nicole's like, flip. Yeah, like what? You didn't scroll down? So like they just don't understand the repercussions of things. And Gertie goes, you know what? Justice for Adriana. Justice for Adriana. Justice for her.
Also, can you please explain to me what this word is? What is it? Is it sofa? I feel like I'm getting close to it. So is it Ziggy, the cartoon from the 80s? Ziggy. Is it
holding
Ziggy?
The iPad to your head. Yeah. So then Adriana is in her room, but she's kind of like in this back bathroom area of a room. Like they don't give Adriana any respect on this show. They won't make her a real housewife, first of all, when she kind of helps carry the show. I mean, both seasons she's brought the drama that carries the storylines the entire season, okay? And they won't make her housewife, and now they won't even like give her a light in her dressing room or anybody to ask her questions. She's stuck in like a back snack room in the dark.
Her room is literally a friend of room. Like it's like the friend of version of a room. Like there's like a main housewife room. If it was like the real rooms of Miami or something like that, like all these rooms would be holding little candles or something. And then hers is just like the friend of. And it's like a nook. It's like where filing cabinets used to be. That they dollied them out to make her little glam session.
Or it didn't. She's like literally sitting on filing cabinets. Like they do not give a shit.
It's like your hotel room when we did South by Southwest. Remember how your hotel room had like industrial racks in it? And like when you walked into your hotel room, you had to walk by several industrial racks to get into the actual room. That's
and
like where
I'm
she's
pretty
her
sure
glam.
that hotel did it too, where they were like, at South by Southwest, we need to just clear out the laundry, clear out the janitor's closet, throw a bed in there. He'll take it.
and we did.
We did. We're like, thank you. So let's see. So then Adriana's getting her makeup touched up, like we said, and Alexia comes to Julia, who's got the main room, right? She's got lighting and a hairdresser and everything. So Alexia comes in. She's like, oh, hi. I just wanted to say thank you so much, bro, for being so kind and warm and accepting my apology because it means a lot to me. Okay, it really does. And Julia's like, thank you. I mean this. Thank you very much. And Adriana's rolling her eyes in the back. And Julia's like,
without a mic also.
Now I know when Adriana made this terrible comment about Frankie. And Alexia goes, oh, no. I don't need to talk about this again. She goes, no, I just want to talk about because it was at the beach. And then we see a clip of unseen footage 7 months ago. At the beach.
They're in the Bahamas. And we see Julia's talking to all the women and Adriana's not there. And she's like,
guys, I feel like there are some unsolved issues from the past, some unsolved mysteries, which is why I'm wearing trench coat and hat right now. And I think that's what's bothering Adriana.
And then Alexia's like, no, they're like in her head. It's loco. She's loco.
Yeah,
no,
she's loca.
I don't think loco. I
don't think loca. So she's like, well, listen, I don't want to talk to you, okay? Because I don't want to talk to you. So go over there because you're not a feminist, okay? So don't try to turn this into an LGBTQA community because I'm more that than you.
What did that even mean?
She's trying to make it sound like Julia's playing the gay card, like as a gay woman, but she didn't say anything even close to that. She's never played the gay, she's never played a victim card at all. And so Alexia's losing the fight. So she's like, how dare you play the victim card? I'm more LGBTQ than me. Really? Weren't you making fun of trans people literally last season?
She
what was her
had like
thing?
that transphobe. It was at Pride when there was like a trans person, a trans woman specifically, and Lexi goes, "Oh, that's a guy.
That's a dude. That's a dude right
well,
there."
she was the marshal. She was like the grand marshal.
She
of
was a
that.
fucking grand marshal. Okay, she's so crazy. I'm more than that. I'm more that than you. And Julia's like, what? So then we come back, and Alexia's like, listen, it's been many years with me and Adriana. I don't know how long you've been her friend, okay? But I've been a gay woman for a very long time. And it's like,
Yes,
proud
you were
gay
bridesmaids.
black woman, I would like to say. It's like, whoa.
Okay, stop playing the Jewish card. She's like, what? But So-
yeah.
so Alexia's like, oh well, Adriana like literally told me that they found my husband dead in my lover's. She's like so flustered she can't even get up, but she's basically saying like, hey, Adriana said they found my husband dead in his gay lover's hands. And so then we see a flashback to last season when they're all sitting at a table and Adriana's like, so like at Herman's funeral, like because someone told me he died while he was having sex with a man. And Lex is
And also, I want to go to more funerals in Miami because these are the best fucking funerals ever. People just gossip.
I know.
I mean, in Texas, we give each other like looks, like, but we don't talk about it at the funeral. I love that Adriana heard at the funeral that he died having sex with a man. That sounds like a good funeral.
Oh my goodness! And then, and so then now Adriana and Alexia are fighting in this room. Adriana's just sitting in her chair without a mic. You can hear the boom sort of like going over to her. So she's not even mic'd up because they're like, "Sorry, you're just a friend of, so we can only give you a mic when you're on stage."
Boom. They're barely giving her the boom. She's having to yell. It's like having to be caught in Julia's mic in the next room. So she's like, "You shut up!" And she's like, "No, everybody was in shock because you're a disgusting person, Adriana." And she's like, you were telling everybody what was it me? And she goes, oh, that he died in bed. And she goes, even Leah was disgusted with you because you outed Herman after his death. And she's like, it's not outing him. That's not outing him, bro. I mean, it kind of is. It is using your husband's sex storyline that he was keeping private and like exposing it after he died. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like that's your story too, though, right?
I kind of feel like that. Since it was I'm gonna allow it for Alexia because she was married to him and he was having a secret gay affair. I feel like she's allowed to be like, whoa, turns out my husband was gay. Like, why did like he was having a secret life. He was being actually unfaithful to her. And she was actually pretty understanding about it, after the fact. So she's like,
well, the rumors, of course, are that she always knew and that she was just a trophy wife for an extremely wealthy gay man.
Well, there could be that too.
When he died and she brought it out all on camera like that, it was a huge betrayal. Now, I don't know, but I say when I'm dead, you can use whatever the fuck you want as a storyline for me. I'll be honored to be carried on in this way. And I feel like any gay man would be honored to be remembered on a storyline.
That's what I was going to say.
A storyline on a Real Housewives show.
Could there be anything more fabulous for a gay man to posthumously have his sexuality outed and be used as a plot device on Real Housewives? Yeah, that's like winning an Oscar for a gay. So, so Alexia's basically like, you're jealous of me. Another classic reality trope. She goes, that's when you came to attack me. So like, why don't you like say something like that? Why would you say something like that? Like, why did you say that? Like, now you're mad because I said like the truth. And now like, no, I'm like not talking to you. Like, this is Julia's room as well. So stay out of my conversation. I mean, they're both like going at once. I think those were just like fragments of things I could pick up amongst the back and forth.
Yeah, they're yelling at each other. And then she tells Julia, you see, this is what happens, right? Okay, she gets in between you and I, and you have to be able to have a relationship with people, even if she and I have a problem. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Jealous. Okay, you're jealous. So Adriana's like, you were outing him after his death, outing his secret, disrespecting his kids and his family. And Julie goes, do you think you can fix it with her? Meanwhile, Adriana's like, you screwed over a man and he is dead. Just trying to get anything picked up by a microphone.
I also love
Adriana. Can work out?
Alexia's like, how can you fix that? But also, I love Adriana accusing Alexia of outing Hernan when like Adriana was like at that table on camera saying, "Oh yeah, someone came up to me and said that he died in his gay lover's arms." You know?
Yeah, Adriana's literally the one who outed him. Actually,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah. That's
So then Julia's like,
Yesterday, the whole day, I was at the hospital at the radiology place, and I was looking at the sick kids. And Martina,
well, this is actually serious. She talks about how basically, you know, given what Martina's going through with her cancer and everything, she sort of realized, like, hey, you know, we should be nicer to each other. Like, we don't have a lot of time. We should treasure life. We should not be fighting with each other. You know, it's like we shouldn't be going at each other, which is like a lovely sentiment that lasts for about 0.2 seconds before the fighting just starts up again.
Yeah. That's something you say that's stupid, I think. Like, life's too short. Let's not fight. I say life's too short. Tell people to fuck off while you have the chance. I mean,
Yeah.
soon enough, you're not going to have that chance anymore. You know,
Mhm.
then nobody's going to have told them to fuck off for you. What kind of life is that? Who wants to go to the grave not being able to say fuck off to the people they should? You hear of all these people apologizing on their deathbed. You know, we talked about that last week about hating. Oh no, I was talking about this, I think, with Malls. Like, I hate deathbed apologies. I think that's such a fucking cop out. Like, you wait and then you apologize on your deathbed just so you can get into heaven. I'm more about like a good deathbed fuck you. Like, that's the time you tell your family, I never fucking liked you anyway. Get the fuck out of my room and let me die alone like what I intended to do. Get out.
Isn't that basically how Moonstruck started?
Yeah.
Like in the, like, you just want to live life by the Moonstruck code.
Yes. Fuck this positivity, okay? I pump out enough of that shit at the Starbucks line, okay? Well, I'm going. Everyone's going to get their fuck you. Line up.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens.
It's called Me Time for a reason. So working out should work on your time.
And you know how I love to work out is with Peloton. I'm a big Peloton person. I literally just broke a personal record 2 days ago. I'm so proud of myself. And the Peloton tread is so cool because it's pretty compact, even though it's like full size. And you get like a really great running or walking workout on it.
Work out when it works for you. Peloton works into your day, not the other way around. You don't have to clear your schedule to work out. And whether you have 20 minutes to squeeze in a scenic hike or just 10 minutes for a power walk, Peloton makes it easy to find the me time that you're craving.
It's so true. It's more than just a bike. It is that treadmill also. It's so fun, okay? It's not another boring stroll on a treadmill.
There are classes for every level. You could try a short scenic hike, a beginner boot camp, or even a power walk to country pop.
No matter where you're starting from, Peloton's expert instructors are there to guide you with contagious energy and supportive instruction to really take the guesswork out of working out.
Try Peloton Tread risk-free with the 30-day home trial. New members only, not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.
In the aftermath of a shocking crime, people always ask why. Why would someone do something like that? What could possibly push them to commit such a horrible act? Was it money? Revenge? What makes people like that tick? I'm Candace DeLong, host of the podcast Killer Psyche, where I explain the thoughts, motivation, and behaviors of the most violent figures in history. You may think you know these cases, but trust me, you do not. Using my decades of experience as an FBI agent and criminal profiler, I dig deeper into the twisted psychology of why. Many of the cases covered on Killer Psyche I actually worked on, like the serial killer Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, and Dennis Rader, also known as BTK. Follow Killer Psyche wherever you get your podcast. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
Commercial.
So Alexia's like, well, I don't appreciate her making me look like a way that I'm not, okay? I'm a star. Like you said, Julia, I'm a sweet, loving person. And everyone blames us. Like, everyone blames us. Like, talking about her and Marisol. You are monsters. You and Marisol are both fucking monsters. And I think it's hilarious that you're crying because of the reaction that you've been getting all season for being a monster. You earned it.
Yeah, and then Adriana then goes, "Those are crocodile tears. Those are crocodile tears." And Alexa's like, "I don't have crocodile tears for you, okay? Like you, okay? Because I am emotional because I feel you're the narcissist that has no feelings. Get out of the conversation. What are you? You're not even in the real room. You're
You
like
attack, and then we defend ourselves, and you don't. I'm sorry, ma'am. Excuse me. Are you going through files right now under my chair? I'm sorry, ma'am. We have to do it. You're in the friend of room. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
You're the devil, bro. Like, this is what you do for the show? Like, the only evil one here is you. You don't even deserve to be here.
Reflection.
That's actually both like her attacking Alexia and also asking if someone can get her a mirror in her room for her glam.
She's trying to tell the the PA who's assigned to her to turn around and act like her mirror since she wasn't given one. She's like, "Pay attention, I need reflection."
So then now that everyone goes back to their seats, and Alexia is talking to Marisol, like, she's a crazy person. She needs to be medicated, which is funny. I think you could probably say that about most people on this cast. So Kiki finally comes to the set. So everyone's cheering. Everyone's so happy for Kiki. And Julia's all nice. Julia's like,
Oh, that's the best, Kiki. That is so nice.
and then Kiki's boob falls out of it, and everyone's like laughing. And they're like, oh my God, Kiki had a wardrobe malfunction. And Andy's just like on his phone, does not care. And he goes, oh, really? Oh, yeah, I guess I must have missed it. Sorry. And just texting.
Yeah, he
Totally
only comes back to life the second arc and camera. And he's like, well, we're back. Kiki's joined us, our resident burger queen. I would like to give Kiki an honorary cocking. All right, just a sip, Kiki. Not that much, Kiki. God. Like dark crystal Marisol over there with your bedazzled cup. Nobody wants a part of that.
Well, maybe once they get up to Bravo from Peacock, then she can afford to have a second cocktail tumbler
Keep
from
that
Zazzle.
tetanus to yourself. Keep that tetanus bullshit to yourself. It's disgusting. Every one of her cups looks like it could cut you and give you rabies. Keep it over there.
It's a really big cup. Everyone be careful. So Andy's like, Kiki, everyone is talking about your whopper of a moment online. See what I did there? That was wordplay.
So Coochie from Fritas is wondering, do you keep that burger in your purse for the whole show? How cold was it? And she's like, well, the thing is, I'm so used to eating cold Whopper because there was a time in my life I could only afford Whopper. So when I'm pissed off, I pulled off a Whopper out of my purse.
Yeah, I love how she tied this into like
What?
her impoverished younger years. I always keep a Whopper just in case. Okay.
Kiki doesn't get much time, so she's got to get all of that stuff into one. She's like, I haven't had a victim storyline this year, so here it is. I used to be so poor I could only get a Whopper. Then I pulled it out of my purse.
Technically, she could have gotten a Whopper Junior too, because I think that's the smaller version. So Andy's like, well, Scotch from Tape wants to know, how can Julia miss her? That's right. I'm already moving on from Kiki. You got your one question about a Whopper. How can Julia miss her child so desperately yet not know what school she's attending? Did you ever figure out the name of Emma's school? And Julia was like,
Oh, well, if Emma hears me, now she'll be so cross with me, but because I'm totally dyslexic, I'm embarrassed. I cannot repeat the name of the school because the letters is 3 letters. It's in Paris. And I believe she is majoring in baguette. I do not know more beyond that.
So they start talking about Martina's diagnosis and how they're going to have to put on hold getting a child. And
so sad.
it is sad. And
I hope she comes through.
yeah.
obviously.
And then Julia's like, we've lived here. Andy says that scene on the dock at the very end when you finally went off the dock with Martina and swam together was so romantic. And she's like, oh, we've lived here for years and I've never been in the water. I love water when it comes to look at. But Martina wants to get me water ski. And the girl said, just jump. And it was magic. And Marisol's like, the show does that. It makes us do things we wouldn't do in our normal life. Like what? Get married to a
What is
fake
Marisol?
boyfriend twice? What are you talking? Marisol, be quiet.
Marisol's acting like she's out there doing Esther Williams routines. Marisol, what are you talking about? You're doing stuff you wouldn't do. You're just like puttering around your house and showing up to a party. Like that's just what.
Well, she wouldn't have gotten married twice fakely, is what I'm saying. Because that first one I didn't believe. That first one was totally for the show.
Fake.
And this second one is some fucking guy from Show Tunes night at a piano bar. I don't know. They probably just got wasted together and ended up home one night, just figured you can take as much as I can. Hey, you like cock? And he's like, actually, yes. Perfect. Let's get married. All right. Do you? I do. We're married. The end.
She did also turn on Leah in season 3, and that seemed to come out of nowhere because they were like really good friends, right? I mean, I guess that was all wrapped up in the whole beef with Adriana, where it turns out Adriana lied about her entire backstory after Leah had like supported her, and then everyone wound up taking sides, and everyone took Adriana's side.
Oh my God, you have a good
remember
memory.
that season 3? That was some silly drama. Either way.
It's like my youth. It's done. It's over. It's gone. Okay? I'm just preserving what I have now. Don't bring me back to those times.
By the way, I want to say I was very upset that there was no questioning about about Julia not inviting Kiki to her housewarming. There was like that very frosty moment that they had. That was after the video shoot. She didn't invite Kiki. They saw each other again at another party, and they were kind of like frosty to each other. And now all of a sudden, Julia's like, "Oh, Kiki, your dress is so pretty." And I'm like, could we get just a single question to see like, hey, what's going on with you two? I was very disappointed.
I guess it's because it's so Adriana centric. And it's like her storyline anyway. So he'll let Adriana have it. So Julia's, she tells her story, and then he's like, wishing the best for Martina, which of course we all do. Not going to make fun of any of that. So Andy's like, so Chris Everett from When Is Martina? When Martina goes, it will be when I take her. Says, Martina was carrying your purse at BravoCon. Who got more attention? You or Martina Navratilova? That is an amazing question, Chris Everett.
Yeah, and just talking about how great it is to see, like, wow, Martina holding a purse, she's an icon. I mean, she didn't have a documentary like The Last Dance. More on that in a bit.
That's what I wrote, too. I wrote, please let Martina know we love her, and I'd personally love to watch her watch The Last Dance. That would be great, wouldn't it, everybody?
By the way, something that just struck me as funny was that when Marisol said that like the show makes them do things that they wouldn't do otherwise, and it's like it's like magical and therapeutic. Alexia goes, "I always said that. I said that years ago." I just love that she's just like, she's like in competition at all times. I said that. I said that. Yes. Yeah, because I was a star. Yeah,
that's her. So they take a break. It's like another break that we get to watch. And Marisol's like, if we're having a small break, can it be a pee-pee break? Oh my God, for Christ's sake, someone flush this woman's kidneys. Just flush them out, put a water hose, do something, help her.
And Lisa's like, oh, the makeup girl, Priscilla, who's on all these shows, and Priscilla, she has a pee-pee funnel. And you put it up your vagina and it funnels out the pee. And everyone's like, and Marissa's like, sounds like a yeast infection to me, waiting to happen. Like, can I date it? Can I date that funnel?
And Lisa's like, well, not inside your vagina, right? Is it around your vagina? Well, you have to have good aim for that. That's for sure. You have to. Priscilla, you are working on too many housewives that you're carrying around piss funnels.
I know.
Okay, that's when it's time to start looking for different jobs, Priscilla. Priscills. Can I call you Sills?
Yeah, Cilia. Pris funnel. So now they come back from the break, and then he's like, hey, I have a question. Does anyone ever see Anna? Right? I heard a rumor she was on Next Food Network star, but that's crazy. That didn't happen, right? It did?
We see a really funny clip of Anna being like, oh my God, this was at Thomas's house, right? When she's
I know.
Like, oh my God,
yeah.
I am a stupider person for having come here and sitting here. And he's like, well, who invited you then? You can leave.
I was so mad that we did not get to see
sit down, shut up, or get out.
One of my favorite moments of 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So then Nicole says that both Anna and Leah, speaking of Leah, both reached out to Nicole I guess, to talk some stuff. And Andy's like, when? And she's like, last week. And Alexia's like, oh, well, I'm not scared. She doesn't know me.
She doesn't know me. And Nicole's like, well, I don't repeat things that I don't know of. So I don't go around spreading rumors. Which, okay. But you did just bring up Leah and Anna as a threat, no? Why else would you have brought them up? By the way, love your style. Love your style.
I know.
And Andy's like, save it, everybody. Save it. So
what have
now
I said? What have I said?
Save it, stop talking, everyone stop talking.
He's losing his mind.
So then we go to countdown and welcome back. I'm Andy. Gertie. Charades from Doesn't Involve Holding an iPad to Your Head says, you get the women at very extravagant gifts. You get what counts most. Is it true that you and Russell get busy 3 times a week?
Oh yeah, and we've like upped it since his revelation. You know that like
Revelation?
you know the revelation that like all of America was talking about.
Not sure.
Don't you remember like when we sat outside and there was the revelation?
I think you think more people think this revelation was a revelation than just a passing comment.
You know that he could have more sex.
Oh, okay.
Men want more sex. What a shocker. So then Andy's like, so who here besides Gertie has the most sex? And then, of course, they're all claiming to.
Well, I do.
Because it's the
I
old
do,
housewives. Like, my vagina still works. You know, it's like that old thing. And when guys do it, that's all guys talk about too. It's like, oh, yeah, I do it. It's like the cast of Southern Charm. Yeah, I need it all the time, brother.
Yeah, and so Alexia goes, well, I do. I have the most. And then Nicole's like, well, I mean, I have good sex. And then, like, good sex. She's like, yeah, like 3 times a week. And Alexia goes, oh, well, that's a minimum. That's a minimum.
Minimum. And
which
Larsa's
then we,
like,
of course, had the image of Alexia and Todd. I'm just imagining Todd having sex. She's like,
Ha! Ha! Oh, yeah. Ha! Ha!
God damn it, that's good. Jesus fucking Christ. God, what is it, trash day? I'm emptying it all out today.
You know, you're real rude. Oh, yeah. You're real rude. Oh, yeah.
No one likes a rude woman. Oh, yeah, give it to me.
He was my friend. That lawyer's my friend. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to send him some Godivas? Oh, God, yeah.
You come at me, I'll come at you harder. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a minimum. And Larsa's like, well, I was married for like 23 years and like swear to God, like not even kidding, like swear. Like I've always like had like sex like 4 times like a night. Like 3 times a week is nothing. 4
Larsa.
times a night. Larsa,
every
you
single
moron.
night for 23
And why does
years.
she think that makes her look good? You know, whenever people say shit like that, I just think you have troubles. You know what I mean? It's like Marisol, like bragging about like being just like a drop dead alcoholic. Like, why is that? Why are you bragging about that? This is sad. You know, like you're
But
just
also-
a used up, tattered old fleshlight at this point. I mean, can you even hold in your pee anymore? Like, how does that work?
Well, it just doesn't, I don't believe it. Okay. Like it just, I mean, even Andy's like, yeah, but there are like away games. She goes, no, but like, I would like, oh, we'd never spend a moment away. Like I was there, I would be in the locker room. Like I was there. I was actually like on the team. I don't know if you noticed, but like every time Scotty had like a rebound, like I would then be like right there and we just have like quick sex.
Yeah,
right
we
under
like
the
had a
basket.
private plane, like, so it was like private. So like, I was like always there. First of all, you ding dong. We know that this is a fucking lie. Do you forget that we watched you on this show 8 years ago?
I
You were
know.
talking about never ever seeing your husband and never ever having that alone time, or all of the time that you've been. I mean, you're so full of shit. I can't with this lady.
But it's like such an outrageous lie. Like it's not even like if she said, "Oh yeah, we used to have sex 5 times a week." She's just like 4 times a night, every single night with no breaks for 23 years. I'm like, I don't believe that, Larsa.
Yeah. So Andy's like, wait, every night? She goes, yeah, for 23 years, I never had a night off. And Lisa's like, you poor vagina. And Andy goes, wait a minute, 28 times a week for 23 years? We're getting 2-digit numbers times 2-digit numbers. It was very confusing, basically, to anybody on this stage. But that's a lot. That is a lot.
He goes, wow, well, Marcus has big shoes to fill. Yeah, well, he like wears like a 15 shoe like, so I think he's okay like. We're like, oh, okay. Well, last time you said you hadn't talked to Scott about Marcus. This never comes up in between the two of you. And she's like, well, I feel like the only conversations like that we need to have are is about the kids and like X, Y, and Z. And like our kids are like at the point now where like they literally have cell phones. So like if they have a problem, they can literally call me with their literal cell phones that they have.
Well, doesn't Scotty Jr. get any crap on his team? She's like, no, because you know what? Like, all the times, like, swear to God, they could be giving him crap. He's having sex. Like, he has sex probably like 19 times a day, Andy. It's true. It's like crazy. It's like his dad.
Have they hung out with Marcus? Like, what's that like? And she's like, they like it. They like it a lot. They're always like, Mom, this is weird, which I think is like Gen Z slang for like, that's so cool. And Mom, you look like you're 28. So I'm like, go on, guys. Like, say it over and over again. They do. They say it every single time.
So he asks if she's hung out with Michael Jordan, and she's like, you know what? Like, honestly, like, to be real, like, seriously, like, I don't like want to talk about him. I want to talk about like me. You know what I mean? Because like Marcus and I, like, that's what I want to talk, which is why you're dating Michael Jordan's son. Give me a fucking break. It's like all of her answers, like, I don't want to talk about the Kardashians. Yeah, you just wanted to use them so someone would give a shit what is going on in your life, but they still don't, okay? You vapid fucking user.
Like, or more like last season when she got extremely offended because Adriana said that she saw Kanye West's penis at an event, which, by the way, is one of the funniest fights that we've ever had. Bravo. But she got all outraged because the outrage therefore implies that there's a closeness that she has with Kanye West, which, by the way, I guess that kind of backfired with you. It's like saying, like, I want to stand up for a huge anti-Semite right now.
Right. So Andy's like, well, you understand the dynamics of this are loco, right? I mean, I'm still got to, given the history of your ex and Michael, and I mean, the dynamic is like Last Dance. Whoa.
It's like Last Dance sequence, like wow, it's like another dance after the Last Dance, which blows my mind that there could be another dance.
And then Lisa just goes,
Love is love.
Don't
like,
take
what the fuck
now.
are you saying?
Now you
and
are
Lexi's
using...
like, I know because I'm the most LGBTQA woman here. Okay,
she can use the card. Okay, she can use the card.
I allow it. Love.
Love is love. No hate.
That's not supposed to apply to fucking your friends' children.
It's not supposed to apply to Marcus Jordan. It applies to people who are, you know, on the receiving end of homophobia and who are getting beaten up on streets and having legislation formed against them in the very state that you're filming in.
Oh my God, I had legislation formed against me. You have to scroll to the bottom. It's crazy. So Larsa's like, you know, like, honestly, like, for real, like, I honestly, like, feel like people don't really understand it. Like, I feel like I don't really know Marcus because, like, I didn't know him till a few years ago because, like, I was with Scotty the last year he played with Michael, and then Michael was going through divorce, and, like, I didn't know his wife, like, I didn't know his kids, like, I didn't know nothing about him. So, like, we didn't have, like, families, like, intertwined. So...
Honestly, I didn't even know who Michael Jordan was. I really thought that I was actually, you know, I thought I was actually like marrying like Creed's son. Oh yeah, well, you know, we're older than Creed. Just want to say that. We're older.
I am Creed. That movie's about me. I'm the most LGBTQA Creed there is. Okay. So Andy's like, well, but if Michael Jordan's ex-wife started dating Scotty Jr., don't you think you might be like, oh? She's like, no, I don't care. Like, honestly, like, as long as my son's like happy, like. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. If
her
son came home with anybody even close to something like Larsa is, Larsa would lose her fucking mind.
Oh. Yeah, it would be a disaster.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Okay, well, Horace from Grant says Larsa gets an ounce of truth and tries to personally detonate
people's lives. What do you think about that, Lars? Oh, here's another one. Dennis from Rodman has a different take. He says, I'm starting to become a Larsa fan. She really follows the mantra, don't start none, won't be none, we'll marry someone's son. Ha, what do you think about that?
Ladies, show of hands. Does Larsa hit below the belt more than 4 times a night? And they all raise their hands. And, the other couch raises her hands. And Gertie's like, she doesn't tonight. She doesn't tonight, okay? She's a Pippin. That's what she does. She takes shots. And Kiki's like, listen, if you guys feel like you're being bullied or attacked, you have a right to defend yourself. And that's what she does. And Marisol's like, well, she's just so confident and amazing. I just love watching her. I wish I could be like that.
I feel like she's a reactionary, which, of course, as we all know, means a raging conservative. And that's exactly how I meant to use the word reactionary in this moment. So Andy's like, yeah, but season 1, remember she said some stuff about your mom that you didn't love, Marisol? Do you remember that, Marisol? Do you remember that? And then we see a flashback to their first reunion, which is so funny because that was when they're all sitting on like folding bridge chairs in the Watch What Happens like original studio, and they're all crammed in there. And it was just like the most low budge of any reunion we'd seen to that point.
It was.
Actually, no.
They were.
The most low budget was the one that was like in Vicky Gunvalson's backyard.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah, that's definitely the most. But it's also just seeing all their faces is great, especially Larsa's, especially. So she's like, well, yeah, but like I'm a fighter. Like when I fight, like I like to like win and like not lose when I fight. Like, so if you like come for me and you like say something to make me feel like more like I should hurt you, like then I'm going to hurt you the same way you hurt me then. And so he's like, well, Lars's toes from our Krusty say that your devoted fans call themselves Larsonists. Oh,
I love that. Larsonist. I don't get the joke, but it seems cool.
And Marisol, of course, jumps in and goes, I have Mary Soldiers. No, you don't. I've never fucking heard the term Mary Soldiers. No, you don't. And this is not about you. This is my package. This is my package, okay? Everybody shut up. This is about me.
Mara Soldiers. I guarantee you the only Mara Soldier is like the guy who works in that sketchy doctor's office with the fat shots. You know, he's a Mara Soldier.
Yeah, maybe there's like Mary Solders, like people who sold, you know, different body parts onto you to keep them on there. But I don't think there's an I in there. Okay. So Andy's like, well, when Larsa first brought up Julia kissing a man, you denied it, and then she had proof and you admitted it, Julia. And we see a clip of that. Her going, what? The kissing a man? I wasn't even there. And then her saying, he has a picture. Oh, yes, well, I kiss a man. I like him.
So Julia has an equally murky explanation. She goes,
Oh, I love this question. So you know why I denied it? Good. But another reason why is because Larsa said somebody told me they seen you in last week. And I was like, I wasn't even there.
and Larsa's like, I saw, but like I said the week before.
Yes, but last week was May. And the week that I was there was January. But guess what? February, 3 less days in month. So there you go.
Yeah, but like they told me last week that they saw you last week. So if they told me last week that they saw you last week, that would be 4 weeks ago. Do the math, stupid.
I do math because daughter in croissant school in Paris, and it's 5 croissant, but 2 croissant is 7 croissant. That's what she told me. And what I learned is that this dress, I have nothing to hide because this dress is by Naeem Khan, my best friend. Shall I stand up again, Andy? I can stand up. I can stand up as exoneration.
Wow, you were sitting and now you're standing and now you're sitting again in that dress. Wow, that takes some real confidence.
None of that exonerated Julia whatsoever. Like none of it made sense.
Well, she's saying this. She's saying she's wearing the designer's dress who she was seen kissing. And then they show his picture, and it's because this is who she was kissing in the 4 seasons. It's her friend. Right. And so Larsa's friend was just stirring shit or whatever. And so Alexia's like, wait, that's who you were kissing? I love his stuff. Tell him I'm LGBT. Tell him.
I actually loved his stuff before you did, so I just want to put that out there. Yeah. Well, do you feel vindicated by the news that Lenny admitted to having a mortgage? And Larsa's like, I really don't care. I mean, like, I just wanted her to know the truth, you know? She needs to know about mortgages and things like that.
You're such a giver, Larsa. You are such a giver.
Well, do you know that having a mortgage is not a bad thing, Lisa? She goes, yeah, of course I know that.
And he goes, well, you didn't seem to know it at the time. You were highly offended. You are highly offended. My goodness, I've never seen somebody so defensive over mortgage talk, sir. What's going on in the Andy Cohen mortgage life? He is pissed.
He was annoyed at that whole sofa because he's like, honestly, it was one of the stupidest fights I'd ever seen. And don't forget, I did preside over Drew Sidora talking about a preacher who wasn't even on the show getting into an affair. So that was pretty bad. So raise your hand if you have a mortgage, because I have several. Anyone? Okay. Just raise your hand if you know what a house is.
But
Okay.
that's not the point. No, raise your hand again. Raise it again. I want to say it again. I want to see you raise your hand again. Do it again.
My hand's raised. My hand is raised right now.
Because that's not the point then. Like, I felt like she was like, what?
Oh no, Lisa's like, it's not the point. I felt that she was weaponizing it to make it look like we couldn't afford our lifestyles. Which is true. And it's also true that you probably can't because your husband is literally renting out, you know? So he's like, well, you guys rented out your house on the weekends. She goes, no, not every weekend. He goes, okay, some weekends then. He hates Lisa and Larsa so much.
He does.
He hates them.
Lisa's like, well, yeah, I did lie for Lenny. I mean, I didn't know he was leaving me. There were no signs whatsoever for 13 years, never a sign.
None.
I didn't want Lenny to get in trouble, you know, because I don't know if it's legal or not to be renting out our backyard, you know. So I said, hey, what are you talking about? You're crazy. I don't understand these things. I'm from Canada.
She's like, yeah, so yes, we have rented out our backyards because lots of rich people do it. I mean, why not have a party and get paid? I'm like, yeah, but Lisa, this is like all after that you're coming up with these answers. And he's like, well, you're the one that was so offended, not me. And Nicole says, she was offended by the attention of it. And Lisa's like, yeah, that's how rich people get, Andy. Very, very rich.
All right. Well, speaking of attention, Graham from Cracker says, Larsa, it's true that Lisa had a mortgage, and it's true that Julie kissed a man. It's not that you're right or wrong. It's that you weaponize information against your friend. What's your reaction to this non-larcenist?
How is that weaponizing anything? Like, nobody even cried.
Well, they're not weaponizing it.
Well, I don't know.
And someone goes, you could have ruined her marriage. And she goes,
Adriana.
be quiet, girl. Be quiet, girl. Like, put a muzzle on it. No one's talking to you. And Adriana's like,
wow.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
Wow. A muscle. Wow.
That was some slander.
If you say something about me that's challenging me, I'm going to say something to bring you down to earth and humble you. You know, like mortgage shaming. Classic.
Or destroy someone's marriage. Okay, you don't have to yell like that. You have a mic back on. Sorry, I'm getting used to it, Andy.
I mean, what if Martina didn't know? I mean, that's Martina Navratilova. She was a Bravo con holding a purse. He almost destroyed her. If she wasn't there, who would carry the purse?
So Larsa's argument is, well, I did try to call Julia, but she didn't call me back. And then when I did confront her about it, we were just standing in a little corner, Andy, like
with a
in
camera.
front of 20 cameras, right?
Yeah.
And Julia's like, but I would love it if you would have called me. She goes, I did call you, like, she's like, and then tell me, I hear something. That's what real friends do. Just the other day, God told me, I hear chicken hate you. I said, I know, it bites my ankle already today, God.
Yes, very, very lucky to have good friend in God.
So Larsa
Julie is so
like,
funny, though, because Larsa goes, but I did call you. She goes, well, why didn't you call me second time?
Why didn't you? Why did you not tell pigeon to tell chicken to tell goat?
So Larsa's like, well, I mean, if you're at the Four Seasons kissing a person, Julia, you're like on like a platform right now, and like everybody's gonna hear about it,
Yeah,
especially
honey.
when I tell everyone.
Yeah, honey. Everyone's going to know, honey. And he's like, well, yeah, especially if your friend says it on TV. And Marisol's like, whoops. Because Marisol's the worst at this stuff. And so now they're all screaming and yelling at each other. And Larsa's like, we're on a show. We do this in public. And Andy Andy's like, well, Larsa, Yorda from Sloth-Faced Idiot says, you have all this information on people. Do you hire investigators? And she's like, no, like, it just, like, falls in my lap. Like, I honestly don't even talk about people. Like, you know, like, with the thing, like, honestly, to be real, like, the thing about me is, like, whenever I have something, I call the person and I tell them.
Nicole's like, well, I never got a call from you. And so Andy's like, yeah, were you calling her to tell her that she slept with all the doctors in the hospital? I mean, do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? Do you hear that? And then Andy's like, yeah, the DM. You get a DM about a random person. You just automatically believe every random DM you get?
And Nicole corrects him. She's like, actually, it was Marisol who got the DM. And Larsa goes, we all get DMs. And he says, okay, so you believe everything? And Marisol, who's actually the worst and getting to skate by with everything. Like, Larsa sucks, I get it. And Larsa does bring up all this stuff. I'm not saying Larsa doesn't suck, but Marisol sucks the most. Like, she starts all of this, and she's skating by on this whole thing to the point where she's bringing herself into things to try and get in trouble. And Andy still ignores it, which is so funny. But she's like, you know, it's so weird. When she said that, I was like, I got a DM. And now that the show's aired, I'm flooded. I'm just flooded with messages confirming it. And you've been tagged in these comments, Nicole. They're tagging all of us. One of them was that she didn't sleep with all the doctors, but she slept with many of the doctors, including a married man while she was married.
So many comments. And Nicole's like, are you guys like talking about the account that Larsa created that has like 0 followers?
I don't do that, sweetheart. I don't do that, sweetheart. Put me on a lie detective test. Okay.
It said Larsinist 2351. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was you.
Really? Because in my life, I've never fake texted this. I have real jobs, not like you, putting people to sleep.
I literally... Could you imagine that she said that?
Could you imagine being someone who makes guys come with their feet, telling an actual doctor that she doesn't have a real job?
During a pandemic. I mean, can you believe the balls on this lady? That's the thing. I think that like Larsa is so shameless and awful that like you can sort of see her value as this like awful presence, but like Marisol is just sort of she's like not bad enough, if that makes sense, and not good enough. She's just Marisol. Although I don't think I hate her quite as much as you.
I don't hate her. I just get irked by her. You know, I get irked by the fake
try-hard
thing. She's a try-hard. It makes me crazy because that's her like try-hard personality, like to be the wacky sidekick who drinks too much. But if she was really that, I would probably love her. I mean, I love a Patsy Stone. You know, that's my kind of character. But I think that really she's like the telenovela evil abuela, which is like the evil grandmother who's just trying to control everyone's lives and ruin them for no reason. Like she really never has a reason. She just picks up somebody to hate on and she just always tries to bring them down. She's done it since the beginning and I've just never really gotten it. You know, I like fun evil when it's like people fighting over petty things. I don't like the working behind the scenes and ganging up on people and trying to spread information that's going to like really ruin the person, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a schemer on these shows, but you have to be an entertaining schemer, you know? But like, she's sort of, I think the thing is that it doesn't feel like as authentic, or it feels like she's trying to manufacture stuff. I feel like the best version of Marisol is when she and Alexia are like together and just like breaking into Spanish, sort of like shading other people. Like to me, that's like the real Marisol, and that's the best version of her. But regardless, Larsa saying that Nicole doesn't have a real job is just like, it's so outrageous. It's crazy.
Absolutely hilarious.
And Adriana's
like, yeah.
Adriana's like, real job? Being a doctor is not a real job?
And Marisol's like, well, the point is she wasn't judging you. We're just pointing out that you're a slut. That's all, okay? I love sluts. And Nicole's like, I swear to God, you slept with every doctor? And she goes, I said I heard it. I said I heard. Just that I heard. God.
But they're all talking at the same time while this is happening. So then Andy just loses his mind and goes, you're all talking at the same fucking time. So then it goes to break and it comes back and it kind of like backtracks a little bit. The same thing where them, you know, Larsa saying, I heard. And then Andy's screaming at them again. And Marisol's like, well, nobody thinks you slept with every doctor, just the majority of the doctor. That's all.
And Andy says, can I ask you a question, Larsa? Do you not think that that's a low blow? She's a doctor. And she says, well, she shows her tits and ass and says she heard her neck giving a blowjob. Yeah, and you just said you get pounded like 19,000 times a year. So what? Like, who are you? You know, don't
Larsa,
throw stones if you live in an OnlyFans house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was about to say, Larsa's literal income is from showing tits and ass. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
I don't either. Shit, I would do it if anybody would give me money for it.
Yeah, it's just like you, but you, Larsa, can't do it and then get mad at like a doctor is not allowed to dress sexy. I mean, Nicole, I don't look at Nicole and be like, oh, look at all that tits and ass. Dr. Tits and Ass coming through.
So then Nicole's like, what? Anyway, when I was giving the blowjob, it was to my husband and it wasn't at work. Do you not understand that? And Alexia is like, well, I'm going to be agreeing with Larsa. So sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Alexia, the delegate at the Miami convention here, like, oh, well, you know, I took in all the data. I'm sorry, I have to side. I side with Larsa. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to side with Larsa on that
Alexia,
one.
the head of the you know? So Nicole's like, yeah, I'm not doing it at work. And Larsa's like, it doesn't even matter. You show your tits and your ass. And Andy screams again, hold on, hold on, hold on. He's like, do you seriously, Larsa, not see that this is anything like that she should be mad about? She goes, don't you see how she judged me the whole time, Andy? And he's like, she said I wanted to find out about you before she invited you to her house. And she goes, no, the whole time. She said I was a home wrecker. And then we see the clip of Anthony being like, yeah, well, we need to keep her away from the boat captain because he's engaged. And I don't want her wrecking anyone else's home. Not saying she's a home wrecker, but
the thing is, that comment was in season 2, and Larsa is still holding a grudge about. I'm sorry, I meant like season 2 of the Peacock version. But like Larsa is still holding a grudge from last season when Nicole said like, "Well, I didn't know who you were." I didn't, basically saying, "I don't know who you are. I don't know if I'm going to invite you into my house." And of course, Larsa took that as not. Larsa took that in like no one knows who you are, and then she's been butthurt over that for the past 2 seasons, but now she's using this piece of footage, which happened after she accused Nicole of judging her, and she didn't see it during the season when she went at her about the doctors, which is then what everyone confronts her about right now, which is like, you can say that all you want, but like you didn't see that until basically just now.
She's like, but I didn't know it like people like tell me things like. And she goes, Nicole goes, but you did date a married man. She goes, who did I date that was married? I've never been. I was a home wrestler, not a home wrecker, honey. What? You're trying to wrestle some guy off of you that's trying to pound you 4 times a night, probably. What does that even mean, I was a home wrestler? Are you a home flipper? Like,
I don't know, but like they put up all the headlines that are like, Larsa Pippen with Malik Beasley, whose wife was shocked because they're still married. Like it's just
and
all...
is 24 years old. My God.
And then Larsa goes, you know, you've left every guy to move up. Yeah, you're the home wrecker. And Nicole goes, that's not what a home wrecker is, honey.
Yeah.
Can we get a dictionary, please?
Yeah, you literally only have money because you married into it and you continue fucking into it. Like, seriously, who are you? And Larsa's like, well, you just leave every guy to move up. You're literally dating Michael Jordan's son. Anybody? Is anybody here?
God, I would, you know what, Larsa, God bless her, because what a lucky lady. She does nothing. She's a very passive person, but everyone gossips to her, despite the fact that then she airs everyone's gossip out in public. But everyone gossips to her. She never inquires about people. She didn't even know about Michael Jordan and Marcus Jordan. That just happened to her. Everything just happens to her. She does nothing. She initiates nothing.
Yeah. And Nicole's like, can we get a dictionary, please? And Gertie's like, I pat your head. I pat your head. I pat your head. Home wrecker. Home wrecker. That's what I'm guessing. Act it out. Act it out.
And so Andy goes, ugh, I'm fucking exhausted. So then Julia then actually has a moment, which was another emotional moment where she basically is like, you know what? Like, you know, like I want to play
the game that you played, Marisol. Who do you trust the least? But I want to play it in reverse. Who do you trust the most?
And then she tells a story that basically Nicole was the one who was in the hospital with her, who was holding her hand in her scrubs because Nicole was the anesthesiologist who was working on Martina when she had to go through surgery for her cancer. So everyone stopped questioning Nicole professionally because she's basically doing real world stuff and saving people's lives.
And Larsa goes, but I didn't question that. And Nicole's like, you said slept with every doctor at the hospital. She goes, I said, I heard you slept with a lot of doctors at the hospital. And listen, I mean, basically, it's like giving you a compliment. It's like, that girl really can handle pricks, you know?
Which basically, Julia's lovely little speech had no effect on anything.
I know.
Whatsoever.
It's like even a counselor monologue cannot derail this. So now Larsa is yelling, and because Nicole said, you're just rephrasing things. And Larsa says, that's like you saying your fiance saying he shouldn't bring me on the boat because I might hit on the boat, Captain. Are you crazy? I would never hit on a poor person.
Well, what's Anthony's beef with Larsa? I'm curious because it's just so easy to have one. And Nicole's like, oh, well, he hates the comment that you made about the kid. And Andy's like, oh, yeah. And so we see this clip of Larsa saying like, well, you guys had a child out of wedlock. So Andy is like, yeah,
he's like, yeah, and I didn't judge you, which of course means she is judging her. I don't judge you, even though you had a bastard. It's like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah. And Larsa's like, are you dumb? That's the definition. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? And he's like, yeah, but you said that you had a kid out of wedlock. That's the definition. They're not married. Yeah, but that's an asshole thing to say, Larsa. That's an asshole thing to say.
Well, because also he had a child out of wedlock. Like he's like, you're literally criticizing me to my fucking face, lady, and she's still just sticking with it. Like it's a definition, and
it is the definition, but it's still like there's a lot of negative associations with saying that. So it's just
it's like an old definition. People don't have to be married to have kids now. It was like a completely different time that definition was. And it was used to shame people. It was like, you don't want to have a child out of wedlock. Ooh.
I know, how terrible.
You know, that was what that term was for. It was literally created to shame people, and it's out of circulation, you know? Like Larsa should be to most of these fucking young people that she's dating. Yeah.
Like Larsa's relevance out of circulation. So, so then Nicole's like, they're talking about, Andy's like, this is an asshole comment. And Andy's like, I have to say, Nicole, you took Housewives pettiness to a new level with that disinvitation mirror. Wait for it. Ha, ha, ha.
And then we get to see the clip of Larsa, who's got so many jobs and is smarter than anybody, not even being able to read this thing. That is one of the most telling moments of the season when she gets it and she goes, mirror, on walls,
fake.
You're the fake.
Gertie has to basically take over. Okay, let me take over this mirror on the wall. Who's the fakest of them all? It's you, Larsa. Okay, so you can see yourself in this mirror, so see yourself disinvited. Okay, great. Did you catch all that, Larsa? You want me to do it from the top?
Larsa looked like she was doing a word jumble on the back of a Fruity Pebbles box.
She looked like she was trying to figure out a puzzle on Wheel of Fortune. Mirror, fake, mirror, Mad Max.
I'd like to buy asterisks. So Nicole's like, so how else are you going to deal with a ridiculous accusation like that? And Marissa goes, oh, yeah, who helped you with that? Because I know you didn't come up with that one yourself. Who are you talking to? You literally married one of the gay Muppets who sits up in the balcony making fun of people so that you would have shit to say in the diary room.
You know what? Like, that's really not cool that you just outed Waldorf and Stadler. Like, that's not cool. So, yeah, Alexa says, oh, she said it was the makeup artist who helped. That makeup. And Nicole's like, yeah, it was like me and Grace, you know? Like, oh, does she have a pee funnel also? Is she a real makeup artist like that?
And she's like, it's okay. You guys don't believe me because you just want to hate. That's it. You just want to hate. And Andy is like, Julia, what did you think? And Marisol just keeps going, you're not that clever. I'm the most clever one here, and I'm not even that clever. I pretend married some gay alcoholic from a piano bar to steal his one-liners and bedazzler. And no, even I think that that's too clever.
I mean, I have like the highest IQ in this group, but like I'm not clever. Like, really? So,
well, I thought it was the funniest, wittiest, typical British humor.
She's not British, right?
I don't know. God told me to say that.
I like that she just like took something from Beverly Hills. British humor, darling. Also, does anybody think that Marisol is the most clever? What does Marisol say that's clever? Just saying you're drunk a lot and hot glue gunning jewels onto Costco thermoses does not make you clever. It makes you a sad alcoholic bathed in the cheap sparkle of plastic Hobby Lobby diamonds, girl. Shut up, Marisol. Wheel her out of here. Wheel her out.
What are you talking about? I'm very clever. I took the word cocktails and I dropped the tails off it, and now I call it a cocky. That's clever. I'm branding myself for my future brand.
So,
for my
Larsa,
merry soldiers.
Is there anything in particular you walked away with remorse for?
And she's like, well, I don't know, because like usually we don't use that code now because we have cell phones. So no, like regret. Do you regret anything? She's like, oh, well, I think Nicole wants people to have this idea of her that's not real. Okay, way to not even understand the question. You dumb.
Well, she did the job interview thing. Like, what are your weaknesses? I just work too hard. She goes, my regret is that like I shouldn't have told Nicole like that. I should have just said, hey, people, people judge you, people could judge you. And I should have just left it with that because she really wants to have this perception of how she is. And that's not how she is. So I regret popping her bubble. That's basically what she says. And Nicole's like, my life is like pretty transparent. She goes, okay, well, I guess I could have just said I could have judged you and I didn't. And I didn't think anything by it. And if you guys live together and have a beautiful home and have a bastard child out of wedlock and den of sin, then God bless. I don't judge for that. That's for God to judge.
Hey, I should have said, I watched a movie this weekend that was based on your child. It was called Glorious Bastards. It's really good.
Yeah. What I really should have said is, hey, Nicole, I guess, are you a big fan of General Hospital, as in generally fucking the whole hospital? Because it seems like you are. I thought that could have been a good bridge for us.
So they go on break, and Larsa's back in her dressing room with Marcus, and she's like, oh my God, Marcus, am I psycho-like? Swear to God, how many times do I have to say I didn't mean it like that? Like she has a big mouth and she looks like a chihuahua. I don't know what to do. I don't even know.
And fourth-rate friend of Xana is actually there and still trying to make Xana happen. And Xana is literally doing the boxing ring corner coach thing where she literally is rubbing Larsa's shoulders like, you're doing great. We're going into round 9. I think you can do a knockout here, a TKO. You can do it.
Also, I have to say, it's so weird for Michael Jordan's son, this Marcus guy. I don't know anything about sports or this guy, obviously, except for what I'm seeing on the show. I just find it so odd that someone who is the child of a legend still feels the need to suck up somebody else's fame. You know what I mean? You would think you'd be maybe resentful, or maybe if you had a lot of therapy, learned how to deal with it. But to be sucking after Larsa's fame is bizarre to me, because he does to me, he looks like he's sucking it up. He's just kind of looking at her in awe at this Housewives world, just watching this whole thing being filmed,
It's just odd because I also feel I just feel like he probably has other options. And just weird that Larsa is the one that he's settled on. I just don't understand so much of it. I want to know what their love story is. I once had lunch with a reality TV producer, and she said, you know what I say to people? I don't say, hey, how did you meet? Because then people don't give the real story. I say, hey, what was your love story? So that's what I want to say to Larsa and Marcus. What was your love story?
Oh, good.
And how much did it cost to subscribe to it?
I was like, is this a toe fungus? But then I had them run tests, and it was little babies. There were little tiny baby fish in there. And that's when I realized I loved him. So then we go to Nicole's, and she's Nicole's room, and she's talking about how, every man's going to stand up for their family. So you chose the wrong family. Get over it. And then it cuts back to Larsa talking about how they're just bored in their relationship, and I'm the one that makes him get off. I'm the one that makes him get off, apparently. And Nicole saying that it's evolutionary. It's evolutionary for men to defend their pride and their family.
And then Larsa's like, if my fiance was talking about a woman that much, I'd have a problem with it. I'd be like, there's something wrong in the relationship. I was like, oh, please stop trying to raise your relevance in their life. Anthony said one thing, literally Larsa does not register in Anthony's life, and don't make me stand up for Anthony. So Adrian is like, "Oh well, it's only natural. He's going to defend you. Like he didn't defend you. Then I'd be worried. Like if he didn't defend you, like you could have your foot smashed into 1,000 pieces. Okay, you need someone to defend you."
So then we go back, and Andy's doing a FaceTime or something.
He's
and
like
then he
doing an
tells
IG story.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's like, we're still shooting, and I didn't have screaming at Larsa on my bingo card this time. And Lisa goes, well, you screamed at me last year, Andy. And I was like, yeah, and he still hates you. Can you not tell? Yeah. I mean, you had the biggest storyline of the season as far as this Lenny. Everybody was talking about this. Andy has barely given you like 2 minutes to talk.
I know, it's true. I guess that's probably next week.
Probably. They've talked about it, but he's just like clearly over Lisa.
Yeah. And we're back. Kiki, I have to ask, ever since the Bahamas, how is your vagina chakra? She's like, oh, well, it's still closed because since I'm still single. Ha! I'm surprised you're still single. Do you date a lot? She's like, yeah, I date a lot. My problem is in Miami, a lot of Miami guys tend to be very much like Lenny, which... No offense, Lisa. I know you married it for 15 years because you were stupid. But yeah, for everyone else who has standards, yeah, they stay away from the Lennys.
So then we get to the shaped heads things, like because Lisa's like, what shaped heads do they have? Ha ha! And they do Kiki's line of like, it's the shape of his head. That's how I could tell. But we knew there was more to that, right? Because every time Lisa brought up Lenny possibly cheating or something going on, Kiki made all these looks to the camera. Always. So, Andy's like, who saw the signs? And Gertie's saying she saw the signs because they had an event that wasn't aired, and it was Lisa's event. It was like a charity thing, and Lenny refused to come into like the velvet rope section where they all were. And she's like, come on, come back. And he's like, no, thanks, with that tight smile. He's like, no, it's okay. She's like, come on back, Lenny, there's burgers. He's like, no,
don't want to do it. Wow. But, he's always been like that, like a little off, a little socially inept, a little hateful towards me, a little like sort of regretful about his decision to marry me, a little like he wishes he didn't have to be on camera with me, a little like, God, he hates this side of me. He's always just a little bit like that,
But what you say you weren't blindsided. I mean, wasn't he trying to get in shape and eat better? And she goes, yeah, I mean, that was peculiar. I had been trying to get him in shape for our whole marriage, and then suddenly he's like in shape.
And then we see the clip of Kiki making faces when Lisa's like, oh yeah, Lenny's doing so great. He's losing weight and getting in shape.
And he's like, well, how much sex were you guys having leading up to it? She goes, well... It wasn't a lot. It wasn't amazing. I mean, I would aim for once a week or once every 2 weeks, or sometimes I'd just do a crossword and hope that sex would be the answer to a clue. It was pretty minimal.
Well, what's up with that Halloween party? And she's like, well, he lives for Halloween parties, okay? So, I don't, but he wanted to do it, and I agreed because I can't say no. It's still our house. Legally I couldn't tell him no. And he's like, oh, really? So how many people? She's like 600 people.
So you don't have to do any of that, Lisa. You don't have to participate. You could have been in you could have just like gotten a hotel room for the night, So he's like, wow. And so Kiki's like, oh, well, I've been going to Lisa's parties for many years. And, I've been invited by club promoters and, third-party people and stuff. And as a model in Miami Beach, I've heard he's been a cheater for a long time. And, I know models he cheats with. And then everyone's like, oh.
Like, shocker. Lenny, the boob god, cheats? I would never have believed. A guy who has, like, fucking 50 Instagram models over every weekend cheats? Yeah. I would never believe that.
I can't believe it.
That is crazy. And Lisa's giving her a dirty look like, how dare you be on my side of the couch and pull this shit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a to be continued, and we don't even get to see the previews for next week, so we'll have to wait to see how that pans out, but that was part 2.
That was it. Fun episode. Thanks, Miami. We love you. We'll talk to you guys next time. We'll see you Denver, Salt Lake City this week, and who's the following week, Ben?
Then we have Seattle and San Francisco.
The next week, we love you guys. Go to watchwhatcrappens.com for tickets. Go to Instagram to find our announcements. We announce usually a week before show date what we will be covering. So check that out for if you're looking for what we're covering in the next cities. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney. Christy Wowardy Dowardy.
Dana C. Dana Do. She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg. Sarah Greenwood, she only uses her power for good. Can't stop fanning over Tina Manning.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Better do what she says. It's Elva Enriquez. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides. Undo your fasteners. It's Aaron Kastner.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
We will, Joanna Rockland you. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
She's a good hobby. It's Lauren Hobgood.
We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.